And welcome everybody to the Marketing Corner with yours truly, Sean Campbell. This is episode 2. They let us back into the building,
I know.
John.
Can you believe it?
Yeah. I had to put a little envelope underneath the door for them to let us back in.
And it was good we didn't even say one cuss word the first show. So that
I need to ask you about that because I'm not a big swearer.
Yeah.
But what if one is it beeped
They'll
out?
cut it out. Yeah,
All
they'll
right.
cut it out.
All right. All right. So
you'll be fine. It's actually, I've had it on the Common Good radio show every Sunday at 2 p.m. No plug.
No plug.
Yeah. we had it happen once.
Nice.
Only one time.
Nice.
We had a rapper on the show.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, you can just assume it. Yeah.
We should set an over-under how many episodes it takes before something needs to be beeped out on.
15.
Yeah. It's a good, it's probably going to happen today with Erin.
Yeah.
And,
she looks like a sailor.
It's a good thing her partner's not here.
She brought her sailor hat with her.
You're listening to Sean Campbell and with my esteemed co-host, Pastor John McLean, host of the Common Good Radio Show and executive director and CEO of the Veteran Rescue Mission. Thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you. That's how I'm going to start every show. Thank you, Nuke, giving gratitude for this opportunity. Tom and Greg, I have such a phenomenal team here that it's easy for me. And if you look at it, you're kind of the quarterback, the low-key quarterback.
Okay.
And I'm the wide receiver. Tom and Greg are the offensive linemen.
I was thinking more you're like a really good running back, like a Barry Sanders that can like kind of cut on a dime.
But I have more of a diva aspect to me, right? I am the face. I am the face of the show.
Sanders played running back.
I am the face of the show, right? If it wasn't
absolutely. You are prime time. You are for sure prime time.
But it's the team, right? I mean, you guys set it up, and I just got to show up, and it's easy to do my job, right? And that's the whole theme of today's show with Erin Frame and Nicole Bale cannot make it. She had a surprise visitor from Colorado.
Luckily, she has a good teammate.
Yes.
So,
I've known Erin and Nicole for a few months. Phenomenal team. It was a no-brainer to think about what we're going to talk about with Erin today because it's very intentional. We've never talked about this yet, and I've kind of wanted to save this conversation for the show. So, Erin, tell us a little bit about saving the goods, right? About Ascent Real Estate Team.
Yes.
And what do you look for when you're building your team?
In real estate, it really is kind of an independent type career. You go into it and you're pretty much on your own. Of course, you have choices to join a team. Some teams are better than other teams. When I first started in real estate, I was on a team that it scared me. I was in 3 months and she fired me, the team leader. Yeah, I had stuff in contract and apparently there was some kind of a personality conflict that I was unaware of.
You want to name her on the show?
I do not. I do not because she's kind of
what's her phone number again?
She's a little Sue happy, so no. And she'd find a way to sue me, I'm sure.
I can see that.
But yeah, it was a little traumatizing and it took me a while to kind of go to a different team and then I was solo for a while. So I was able to kind of take, I feel, what was good about a team. And I actually had an opportunity when Nicole and I met one day, a couple of years later. She had started a team on her own. I was looking to maybe go into my own type of maybe brokerage. Just wanted to do something unique. And we had just had the best discussion. It was, what can we do to bring new real estate agents or experienced, offer them the tools that they need. We call it plug and play, but also really, combine community with this.
Right.
So a big part of what we do is and that you must have on our team is a real sense of community. So that is, something when they do come through, we do interview. We've gotten a bit tougher with the interviews because we've had some people come on the team that were nice. Nice doesn't really always cut it.
Right.
So it's actually like building a family, I feel.
Yeah. Do you look for particular roles to fill? Just like I said in the beginning of the show, we got, the techs or the engineers behind the show, or maybe the quote unquote offensive lineman, John's the quarterback, or is everybody kind of share the same?
Everybody shares pretty much. So we have an administrative gal who is amazing, and we have a transaction coordinator. They're both awesome. But like I said, everybody's kind of their own business within Ascent team. So that's kind of where it gets a little unique because they come in, we give them the tools, they pay a percentage to the team to pay for things. But it is a little unique. So you have to find those people that really do benefit from having a team behind them.
So it's almost like kind of like having, I don't know if you follow UFC at all or mixed martial arts, but when like a boxer trains and they train with other boxers and they spar with them, and they're all preparing for their own stuff.
Exactly.
But they're working together for this group effort of MMA arena, or MMA boxing is the name of the gym. We want to bring some pride to MMA boxing, and it all goes in that same pool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
That's a really good one. And there's so much to learn in real estate, and we really do try to teach kind of old school real estate. We're not the person that's going to buy all the Zillow leads and be those cold calling type people. We believe more grassroots, like open houses. We're starting to do a lot of trade shows. We have a bridal show coming up for our luxury division, which is exciting. So it really is just trying to teach people, if you do the work and believe in family and team, that this is a really good place for you.
Yeah. I have a really good buddy, Joe, who owns a very successful company. And one of his biggest difficulties is that when we were talking about people that are driven and entrepreneur and just like nonstop, Aaron and I were talking about, Aaron was asking me, do I ever not work? I try to make it a point not to work, on certain days, right? Joe's not like that. 7 days a week, as much as he can every day. So his biggest problem when he was hiring people is that he's expecting people to be like him. Because of the opportunity of a business just, just starting or whatnot. So Aaron, you and Nicole are very driven, very focused. Do you have to kind of expect a little bit less from people that you hire? It's like, and they can still be highly motivated, but maybe not as much as you.
Well, I'll be honest. The first year that we were together, we built the team. So we built the infrastructure. We brought people on. And then at the end of 2022, we really got together, rewrote our team agreement. And we are expecting more from them. As where before, we were, just there to support them.
Right.
But that's really not our role. Like we created this thing, and now it's time for you guys to actually start producing. So there are even more, I think, requirements of them now than there were before. But in my heart, though, if we don't push them a bit, they're not going to do what they can do.
Right.
And so we went through and we talked to everybody. We changed the way we did things. We lost a couple people, but that was perfect. I felt like we just cut the fat, trimmed the fat, and now the people that are there are in this for the long haul, which I love.
And I think that's a good point for us to put a pin in it. We'll be back with that and more after the break. Before we go to the break, my good friend, Mr. Sean Campbell, the greatest marketing genius I know, has a little something called the Marketing Minute for you.
Yeah, we're going to kind of put some terms and definitions behind each episode going forward. And today we want to talk a little bit about reach and awareness, right? We're always talking about reach and awareness, about the metrics, and the distinction between that, actually between reach and impressions, I should say. Reach is how many people that actually see an ad, and the impressions is how many times those people saw it, right? So we'll get into that in a future episode. So the importance of that distinction. You may reach 10,000 people with an ad that you boost or whatever for a few days, but how many times did they see it?
Yeah.
You want that, what's called a frequency, how many times, and the impressions.
And there's plenty of information like that. Where that information came from at your website?
cmgsocialmedia.com.
Okay, well, this is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell. I'm Pastor John McClain.
And we are back with the Marketing Corner with yours truly, Sean Campbell, very special guest, Aaron Frame from the Ascent Real Estate team. We kind of miss Nicole today, your partner.
I miss her always.
And I was really wanted the two of them. We'll get you the two of you in here one of these days.
Yeah, I don't even know her, but I'm missing her too.
Yeah,
I feel like I definitely feel like I'm missing something. Even though you, Aaron, you're amazing. On your own.
Yeah.
But
we're pretty spectacular together.
Yeah, though. I bet. Nice 1-2 punch.
They are. Yeah. And then one of my biggest questions, and I'm just going to set this up without trying to lead you in any way, because I'm very, very curious about this. How does a partnership work with you and Nicole?
That's
a good question.
I feel it's very unique.
I'm good.
Yes, for sure. It is. There's a lot of. It's interesting. We got together, and it's almost like I automatically knew what my part was, and she automatically knew what her part was.
I love when that happens. That's me and Sean.
It's
100%.
amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. And we have the common goal of doing for others. and especially on our team. Like, how can we help our team grow?
Right.
I feel blessed, to be honest with you, that I found her, because I've tried partnerships before, and they haven't worked out in real estate, and we just know each other well.
Yeah.
We were on that first team I told you about together.
Yeah.
And it seemed like all the major things that she did in her career, I happened to be there for. Like when she started like filming, this type of a thing, she did that, community interviews.
Right.
I just kind of went off of her lead and kind of, I think I went further.
Yeah.
So then when we got together, she's like, all the things I taught you, you did, and they work.
Good friendly competition.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
a lot of love for each other, to be honest. I feel like we love each other so much too, that I love her family. She loves my husband. Like a lot of that's important, So it's a big family at our office. We also are like sisters.
I was just going to say that, because there's sometimes, I'm not saying, don't mislead what I'm saying. They're not disagreements.
Yeah.
It's just that you guys have two different opinions on something. And I just watched the two of you, and you guys are just like still on the same page, but you allow each other to explain why you think one way and she thinks another.
Yep.
And I don't know, like guys in particular, I think John and I, we've already had a few things where I'm like, oh yeah, you're 100% right. I misunderstood, right? And we get it, right? But it's not common when you see partnerships. I've seen a lot of partnerships where they don't agree on something.
We have
and
to
that's
close
just
the
where
door.
the partnership ends.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of learning as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of let's close the door, because we don't want anyone else to hear it. We never fight, but it's like, I need to see your side, you need to see my side, and then we figure out the solution.
And it's a very mutual respect for one another, and I don't see that Hardy at all.
Yeah, I feel really lucky.
I mean, but I guess I'm lucky to be married to a therapist, because she taught me about something called emotional intelligence, which I was kind of like, almost completely naive about up till I was with her. But that's why I'm thankful, and the people I have around me, in our relationship for sure, Sean, where we both have pretty good emotional intelligence, where we kind of like we realize it just comes down to talking. Like we talk about it. We, I give you my take, you give me your take, and if we respect each other enough, we'll figure it out. We'll talk it out.
Yeah, well, I understand you're the expert, and I'm still very, very new. There's a lot of things that
you don't give yourself enough credit, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, but that was one of the biggest
Humble
things.
is good, though.
I was trying to think of a way to get you and Nicole, if she were here, to disagree on something, so we can see it firsthand.
Oh my gosh, she's going to be like, this will be interesting. No, but honestly, she takes more of the lead. Like she's more, I think she might disagree with me, but she's a the DISC program. She's a high D. She's very, very dominant, like her personality. She thinks I am as well, but I tend to go, I kind of let her have her. But if it's something that I really truly believe in, I'm going to say what I think, and she's going to totally respect that.
Right.
But you just kind of figure each other out.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how much we grow, to be honest.
How much do you think your team, that partnership, that mutual respect, the drive that two of you have, how much do you think that naturally falls down to the people that are on your team? Because the first time I visited your team, I was super impressed. I mean, everybody was spot on, very professional, very friendly.
Nice.
And that's not by accident. So how much of that is driven by the example you set?
We definitely feel like we lead by example.
Yeah.
We're there Monday through Friday. I mean, it's a big commitment. Running a team is a full-time job, and then we sell real estate too. So I do always work, but I love what I do. But we absolutely say, okay, no one's here today. This is not how you are going to sell a house. Everything you do today is going to reflect in 3 months down the road.
Right.
So we're always trying to say, we'll take joke pictures. No one's car's here. And we send it out on the WhatsApp. So just really, you have to. You got to kind of make a joke out of it, but at the same time, they know they've seen us be successful. And I think that's just absolutely lead by example.
Right.
And so, honestly, the people that we've ended up, we're so blessed to have these people on our team. They're like, they are like family. And almost, I think all of them are born and raised in Tucson. How crazy is that?
Wow.
Not myself, not Nicole, but everyone on our team.
Huh. Nice. You found yourself a whole bunch of Tucsonans.
Is that
and
not bizarre?
got to go.
Never even asked about it.
Nice.
And it's amazing.
Well, outside of that, what would you say differentiates your team from other real estate teams?
I would say just how much we support each other, because I think a lot of teams, like I said, they're in it for themselves, and they're there to take, sort of. I mean, I've seen our team, like if somebody can't show a house, someone will jump up and show, even though they're not going to make anything off that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, unless like, you have a prior agreement or something like that. We don't expect them to do that, but people do just jump up and do it. We had Kyle, who we only have 2 guys on the team. This is not planned, but we had some and they ended up getting other jobs. But Kyle just had a baby. So we're like, it's the first Ascent baby. It just feels so much like a team. But also, we do a lot of work with charity. So we do draw 4 charities a year. We let everyone put in and they decide. 2 of them we actually donate time. 2 we take money from each of our sales. We donate to twice a year.
Nice.
Yeah. And Sheila Chonez at Gift. She actually matched our one. She actually matched our one for the Bill Felix Memorial Foundation. Okay. So we ended up raising $2,200 for them for the first part of last year.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
And don't you love this small, big town of Tucson?
It's amazing.
That just has us all connected somehow.
Well, I walked in and I'm like, I know you.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh? And I go, you were in that networking meeting the other day. He's like, I was. That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And you definitely, and it's like such a small town, yet big town that, everybody looks familiar.
Yeah.
So I definitely at least once a week I have somebody be like, hey, I remember seeing you at blah blah blah, and I'll be like, yeah, cool, and then they'll remind me of actually who they are, and then and then we're off and running. But I'm definitely, I'm really impressed with I look forward to meeting Nicole one.
Yeah.
And I'm just impressed with this team. Impressed with what I've heard about the work that you do. For those that want to get involved with you, that want to buy a house, sell a house, get involved. What does that look like? What is your information?
Yep. You can go to the Ascent, AscentReteam.com, and you could find our contact information that way. You could fill out a contact form either way. We do, all of our agents kind of specialize in different areas. So I do feel, and they're very involved in each community. So if you're looking at Marana, we have a couple agents that really specialize in Marana. We also have a luxury division. So that's going to be anything 800,000 roughly and over. So anybody can help, but we'll make sure that you're set up with the right person.
Awesome.
For sure.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. This was great. This is right up my alley.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Erin Frame and Nicole Bell, who's not here, with Ascent Real Estate Team.
And that's at Realty Executives, by the way.
At Realty Executives. And the phone number?
Oh, my. 520-268-4789.
Awesome. This is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell. I'm Pastor John McClain with Veteran Rescue Mission. If you haven't been to veteranrescuemission.org, go ahead and check it out. You'll see all about this show, the Common Good Radio Show, all the other amazing work that we do in connecting homeless veterans with housing, as well as, you out there as a veteran or as a person that has a homeless family member, reach out to us. Give us a call, veteranrescuemission.org. We want to help in any way we can to connect you with the benefits that are entitled to you. All right. We'll be back right after the break. This is the Marketing Corner.
And we are back with the Marketing Corner with yours truly, Sean Campbell, with my very esteemed, high-end, high maintenance.
yeah, I'm all those things. Absolutely.
I could not have asked for a better co-host than Pastor
it,
John McClain. Thank you so much for being
the
here.
high maintenance has something to do with that.
That was sarcasm at its finest.
No, it's absolutely true. If you were to ask my wife, she would agree with that 100%. Yeah, my wife.
Really?
My wife is a very esteemed, very accomplished woman that happily makes me breakfast and dinner every single day. So, yes, I'm a pampered man.
Yeah, what I really meant was you're easy to get along with.
I am easy to get along with, though. But I'm easy to get along with on my based off my standards. Yes.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to our second guest of the show. Biggest reason why is Ron and I don't really know each other.
Really?
Not that well. We run into each other
several times over many years, but
But one of the biggest things that I've looked forward to putting this show together was that the conversation that's very natural to kind of get, there's so many of them we have every day, right?
Right.
And I think this is going to be so authentic that it's going to go off the charts.
You don't even know what you're in for, my friend.
I know.
You don't even know what you're... Because Ron and I'd like to think it's safe to say we've been friends for about a year now.
Oh, you could tell. It seems like a lot longer,
and people who don't actually get a chance to sit down and talk with Ron Arenas, no relation to Gilbert Arenas.
Really?
No relation.
Wow,
nope, not even a little bit.
I thought for sure.
Yeah, you thought, right.
He is...
Why is Ron here then?
He is... I know. Why did we invite him? He is one of the most authentic
Yeah.
One of the most just kind of down to earth guys I've ever met. And like when I originally had him on the show, I thought that like, okay, he's cooling, heating, and plumbing. He does all these things. He's going to be like a real kind of like real rigid guy. Not at all.
Yeah. So I have seen Ron on many of the of your show and Sandra's and Ray's show, right? So I'm looking forward to this because this is a little bit of different,
right?
Theme to the show. We're talking small business, entrepreneurship, marketing, etc.
Right.
So this is a little bit of not a curveball, maybe just a slider that's kind of floating out there for you.
Okay.
Right? So what we're talking about today specifically is, how did you put your team together?
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So let's give a plug for your business.
Yeah. So I'm Ron with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
History of it, and how do you put your team together?
How do I put my team together? Yeah. Well, when I'm looking for a new team member, I'm looking for character. That's the one thing above everything else. I mean, we can train someone to do a job, to perform a job, but we're looking for character above all before anything else.
Right.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And that way they're going to fit in with our team, and they're going to fit in with what our customers expect to have in their home.
So not necessarily experience or the know-how, but the willingness.
Right.
Yeah. Is it sometimes people that have, the 10, 15, 20 years experience, are they a little more difficult?
Yeah, everyone comes with baggage. No matter what you do for a living, everyone comes with some kind of baggage.
Yeah. Do you have specific roles on the team? Like, okay, we got a couple of the all-stars here, then we kind of need the steady Eddie, we kind of need this. Or are you specifically kind of the same general type of...
No, go all out with this question, because last guest he did the football analogy, and we can congratulate Ron, his son Luke, who's a senior at CDO.
At CDO.
Right?
Yeah.
Second team
All-State.
All-State.
Yeah.
Offensive line. Yeah. So do the football analogy on the team.
Yeah.
Players.
So we started the show by I kind of did this neat little analogy.
I loved it
with the team. How
great.
Tom and Greg, the engineers of the show, are kind of like the quote unquote offensive linemen. They don't get a lot of the glory, but they're behind the scenes and they set everything up, make it sound good, right?
Yeah,
you can't do anything without the offensive line.
Right.
Yeah.
John's more the quarterback, the quarterback that doesn't have the big stats, kind of the Troy Aikman.
Yeah, definitely a pocket passer
right?
for sure.
And I'm kind of the diva, the wide receiver that wants all the attention.
Certainly
and,
Randy Moss, Terrell Owens type character. I could see that.
Yeah. So that's how I kind of led into with, Aaron and her team, the previous guests, and asking, okay, what role does everybody play?
Right? Okay.
Yeah, does that kind of apply to your business? Do you look for people that are going to be the steady Eddies, or do you want like a consistent all-pro at every position?
Yeah, I think we'd all wish for an all-pro at every position.
Yeah.
And of course, that is a growing, maturing development for everyone. But yeah, there's positions where I need someone that's an all-pro right now.
Yeah.
That's going to go out and install that system for you, or go do a diagnostic correctly, and that way they can get your system up and going right away for you. And then we have the people, kind of the second team, that they're still learning. They're doing the job, but they need help. They're not ready to be in a truck by themselves.
Yeah. How much do you and your role, whether you kind of do it consciously or not, how much is your role as a leader of your organization filtered down to the rest of the people on your staff?
I'm in contact with them every day. Yeah. From anywhere from them calling me or letting me know that they need a part, and maybe I can go pick it up, or they need some advice on maybe how to diagnose something that maybe is a little bit different than what they've seen. So I wear many hats in the business, and so I'm talking to the guys several times a day, every day.
Is that kind of does that happen often with your competition? Do you think, or is that something that sets you apart?
Probably in a small to mid-level size business like ours.
Yeah.
If it was a fairly large business, then everything trickles down, and they probably just have a service manager that they talk with.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you definitely, I think you're a lead by example because you're so consistent at the networking events that I hardly ever go to that. Every once in a while, only if I'm needed by Don and, John.
Right.
But you're there all the time, and you always have a really good, entertaining type of a commercial for your
good.
team.
Yeah, and I try to change it up so that people aren't listening to the same thing every time.
Yeah, and when it's a little bit entertaining sometimes, so it kind of breaks up the monotony of all the people like me.
I doubt that. Yeah, I love your self-deprecation of the show today. Yeah, but it's tricky at the Arizona Sands Club when you have to do that 30-second elevator pitch to keep it fresh and funky. But
right, and air conditioning isn't exciting. It's really not. So you have to.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you have to mix it up. You want to get your message out there, but you want to mix it up sometimes so that people aren't listening to the same thing all the time.
Cool. All right.
Okay. Before we go to the break, tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you, and then we'll be back after the break to talk about some air conditioning, cooling, some more.
All right. They can give us a call at 520-440-4069 or picturerockscooling.com.
And that is Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We'll be talking with him about team building and partnerships and a whole bunch more after this break. This is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell. I'm Pastor John McClain, riding as the sidekick, and I love it. We'll be back right after the break.
And we are back with the Marketing Corner with yours truly, Sean Campbell, my co-host, Pastor John McClain of the Common Good Radio Show.
Yes.
And this is the first show we had actually two guests. Not that we have a whole plethora of shows yet. Yeah. But you're proud of me. We got two guests on today.
That was pretty good. You're starting to get in the groove. Once we get to the 4 guests per show, we're really going to be cooking with gasoline. On our show this week, 2 hours ago, that the people were listening to, we had 3 guests.
Nice.
So we're getting there. We're trying to be big time.
All right.
Yeah, you guys setting the bar, buddy. You see it. You see it.
I'm looking up, and I think I see it up there.
Yeah.
I think I see it there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We have a few meetings set up this week, so I think we'll get
we do.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's a good learning opportunity for me.
No, and it's just, just kind of to reflect. It's crazy to think that this is the second show, but it'll be funny. We'll be talking a year from now. Be like, man, we've been doing this for a year. Been doing 52 shows now.
Yeah.
And I think that I wouldn't be surprised if you're not right on the heels of the Common Good Radio Show that just recently got syndicated, because this is fun. Just I love this. Our chemistry is just good.
It's
business.
good, huh?
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
Twice this week at the Sands Club. The Sands Club needs to be paying us for all these plugs, by the way.
I talked to Rick about it recently.
Yeah,
I did.
Okay, so what's funny is that a couple times this week, Sean, how's your year going? I'm going, started pretty good. Well, I see you everywhere. It's like the Sean Campbell this, the Sean Campbell that. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
I'm doing, because 95% of my own, branding and whatever has been with the show. So I really want to do well and make you proud and whatnot. So
well, I am proud, son.
And you know what? And with Ron as our third guest of the show, the bar has been set very, very high.
People, if you ever get a chance to call Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, and ask for Ron. He's a busy man, so he may not always be able to be there, but invite him to lunch sometime. Yeah. He's a magnificent man, and you can learn a lot from him, probably inadvertently.
Yeah. So in this segment, we're talking a little bit about partnerships. And John, I'm going to let you ask these, because you're the one that came up with these questions that we wanted to ask Ron specifically, because the two of you have a better, bigger, longer lasting rapport than Ron on it.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But they were good because you have a little bit of insight in Ron's history. So, what was the?
Well, it's definitely. There's 2 questions, but I'll start with the partnership question. Just because it's what I love this show, man, and this is gonna be a fun show. It really is. The Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell is gonna be really fun for people to listen to, because the question I had for him, just like off the idea of he's a cooling, heating, and plumbing company. And one wouldn't think, who do cooling, heating, and plumbing companies partner with? Like, let's just say I'm somebody out there that wants to start a cooling, heating, and plumbing company, or a cooling and heating company. Like, who do I want to reach out to? What type of organizations do I want to align myself with to make sure that I have reoccurring business. So I levy that question to you, not to give away all your pearls, Ron, but yeah, what do you do?
Well,
how'd that come about?
I think everyone's probably a little bit different, but for us, networking has been huge for us, both with the Marana Chamber and the Oro Valley Chamber. We've been doing that with them for about 10 years. And then in the last few years, we've been with Tucson Business Networking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
With what I do, social media marketing, I have a lot of strategic partners. So you'd be surprised how many other agencies that I partner up with because they do not provide social media. And just as I don't do SEO or websites or Google My Business and all that. So it's tremendous. That's one thing that a lot of businesses don't understand. It's not just what Ron mentioned, the networking and getting your brand and name out there and having that ability to, for lack of a better term, shake hand and kiss babies. But the business aspect of it, those type of partnerships to pair up with somebody who doesn't offer what I do. And there's a handful of those strategic partners that I have that are, I consider them huge clients, even though we're kind of working in collaboration. They're really tremendous clients as well, because if they refer me something, we're collaborating on a project, and I got to treat their clients just as, good as I treat my own. Right. So to keep that partnership going.
That's an interesting point that you bring up, because I think the big thing that a lot of us get into business, particularly unless we came right out of business school, we think is like, okay, I got to be real under my hat with my information. I have to be real, close vest about everything I do. I can't give away any trade secrets, where once you really start opening up and working with other people in your industry and working with as many people and accepting as many opportunities as you can, then those partnerships and those bridges start to be built versus you feeling like you're out there all by yourself just trying to make it work.
Right. And if you specialize in one area as like I do, I had to get over that mental hurdle that not everybody wants to do what I do. A lot of agencies hate doing social media, running Facebook ads and LinkedIn and all that. They just don't like it, where I love it. And I don't understand why they don't, but at the same time, is because they don't, I'm able to kind of fit in and be kind of a piece of their puzzle, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
So it's partnerships that I had no idea when I put my plan together to start my own company. I had no idea that existed, to be honest.
Yeah.
And for a company like mine, that is the other part of the getting our name out there. You can network all you want, but if people can't find you, then you're not really any good to them. So you do need the website and the SEO and the social media marketing.
But being as great as a networker as you are, give us 3 tips that if you're a brand new entrepreneur, business owner, walking into the Tucson Business Network or the Sands Club or the Marana or Oro Valley Chambers, what are 3 tips that you would give to somebody who's is the first time they're putting in that environment?
And they all owe us money from a plug. I know that. We need to start reaching out. We've been plugging these people too much.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
I think one of the main tips would be not to expect business right away. You have to build those relationships.
Exactly.
You can't go in there and just give out 50 cards and expect that people are going to be knocking down your doors. You have to build those relationships. You have to be someone that's consistent, and they see you and they hear your story over and over again, and they know that they can. You're building trust with them.
Yeah. I knew that was going to be the answer. I could tell. It's like you got to be consistent. There was one networking group back in the day. It was called ABLE when I first started. I forgot what the acronym stood for. It was ABLE. Right. After about 2 months, I went from being another social media guy to being, I had half the people in there as clients.
Oh, great.
Half the people in there as clients after 2 months, just from being there every Tuesday at noon at the, I forgot the name of the place, but I just showed up, and I literally just gave away how people to do their own social media, but they're like, I don't want to do it. You do it for me. That's all it was.
Right?
Yeah.
All it was.
Yeah, and we talked about it with Aaron, I think, during the break, before Ron came in, that Oh man, I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Sorry. yeah. Go ahead, take it away.
But one thing Ron also does is he changes his story up every time he comes. He keeps it fresh, right? You know, I tend to kind of say the same thing over and over, at networking events. And it's a bad habit of mine.
Yeah, I've been feeling that way.
Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. And that's the reason why I go in very, very comfortable.
Right.
I walk in with maybe a little bit too much of an ego. I'm honest, right? I'm just being honest.
Well, you're just really good at what you do. It's hard,
Yeah. And I understand I am good, but sometimes when I walk into a networking event, I need to I need to present something new. I need to, establish at least 3 new relationships within this group.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
right, because you're talking to people that you don't know, that have never seen you before, but you're also talking to the people that see you consistently there, and you're building trust with both of those different groups of people.
And another huge benefit from this is that everybody, they may not use Ron or myself or you, John, but they're going to become walking billboards. They're going to say, "Oh yeah, I know Ron. He's a good buddy of mine. Give him a call." Right.
Yeah.
So if you can get people to be walking billboards for you, right, that's just as good as them utilizing you directly or not. Right. So
yeah, I mean that's definitely an absolute fact, and I think it's, at least with the 3 of us sitting here in this room, thankfully we bear good fruit. We're out there, we're doing good work, we're good quality character people. So when people are given those references, they're true, but because of that good quality character, that's why people are out there doing it. And I know there's there's so many people that I've worked with and been involved with that said, I talked to Amanda Powers or I talked to Steve Ochoa, and they said you're a great guy. So that goes a long way.
Yeah, and you started each one of those sentences right now with "I talk to," and that's huge.
Yeah.
Every conversation that I have with somebody new, I want to do about 20% of the talking.
Right.
If I can accomplish that, then I know I started something good. I want to be a good listener. I want to learn more about them, and I want to serve them. There's nothing worse than going into a networking group and you're dominating conversation that no one can get 2 words in with you. Right. I'm not going to do business with you. Sorry. So.
Well, awesome. Well, Ron, tell us one more time how our listeners can get a hold of you.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-440-4069 or picturerockscooling.com.
And you guys do cooling, heating, plumbing, solar,
duct cleaning, duct sealing, and indoor air quality.
Awesome.
Wow.
Well, if you guys want the chance to meet one of our best friends, contact Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. This is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell. It's going to be pretty famous, so you might as well go ahead and start listening now.
Jump on the bandwagon now.
Really. It's kind of like being a Raiders fan, because eventually they're going to win, and you're going to be able to say, hey, I've been a fan this whole entire time. Yeah. So that's this. That's the show. So we'll thank you all for listening. This is the Marketing Corner with Sean Campbell. I'm Pastor John McClain of the Common Good Radio Show. Definitely tune into it every Sunday at 2 on this very station. And also go to veteranrescuemission.org for more information, and the website that Sean Campbell has, which is, I'm going to remember it eventually,
cmgsocialmedia.com.
That's it. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you.